Thank you, Rochelle, and good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, depending, I guess, on where you're from. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for our third virtual Defeat Duchenne Family Forum. Obviously, we wish we could be doing this in person, but we wanted to take every precaution with the pandemic. For those of you who are new to Jesse's journey, we want to just take a minute to share a bit about who we are. John and Jesse Davidson founded Jesse's Journey back in 1995 to provide leadership in research, in advocacy, and a support for the fight to defeat Duchenne muscular dystrophy. John pushed Jesse in his wheelchair more than 3,000 kilometers across Ontario to raise awareness and funds for Duchenne. 3 years later, John walked across Canada, rallying communities from coast to coast. And over the past 26 years, their vision has remained at the foundation that we meet a future without Duchenne muscular dystrophy. While Jesse's Journey has granted almost $15 million to date to 50 projects around the world, we're also committed to providing education to Duchenne families and tools to advocate for timely access to treatments in Canada. To further inform and unite the Duchenne community, we've created the Defeat Duchenne Family Forum that you're experiencing this weekend. We started the forums in London, Ontario in the spring of 2019 with 30 families. They have grown in numbers and in frequency. We held a forum in Calgary, and then virtually we held forums in Montreal, Vancouver, and today, Toronto. The engagement from families across the country is a clear demonstration that we need to continue to unite, support, and empower each other with the latest information about Duchenne muscular dystrophy. We're thrilled that you've joined us today and that you will stay with us throughout the weekend as we focus on the theme called transitions. Now you'll see as we take a look at this evening, what's planned, and then we will move into Saturday to take a look at the agenda there as well. So you're going to get what I'm so thankful to the people you'll meet in a few minutes, who've helped us organize this, and the resources and the talent that they've pulled together. I can't stress enough the information and the caliber of the information that you're going to be receiving over the weekend from the 31 speakers that Rochelle mentioned earlier. We've been so fortunate to have them help us the way they have, and we have all kinds of opportunities for engagement as well. But this is living with Duchenne. No matter what stage you're at, no matter the development or wherever the family or your son may happen to be, you will find plenty throughout the weekend that will help you to make some of the decisions you may not have even known need to have been made, to ask questions you may not have known even needed to be asked. And that's the educational component that we're offering. So there's a look that Rochelle has moved through as part of the agenda. Obviously, you have that through HUVA, and you can look at those in more detail, but you'll see a wide variety of programs that we are offering you. But as I said, we couldn't do this without our partners at Holland, Bloorview, and at SickKids in Toronto. So I'd like to introduce our team of researchers and specialists who've been instrumental in developing this terrific agenda to say a few words of welcome. First of all, Dr. Laura McAdam, who I can't thank enough, who most of you or many of you will know. She will be providing an overview as well of the weekend in just a few minutes. Dr. McAdam is a pediatrician and physician who is director of ambulatory services and leads the multidisciplinary neuromuscular clinic, and brings greetings from Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital in Toronto. Dr. McAdam.
So I just want to thank everyone, or I'd like to thank you, Rick, as well as everyone at Jesse's Journey for that wonderful, warm welcome. I feel that we have a very exciting agenda today, today, tomorrow, and the next day. And I just really want to start off by thanking Jesse's Journey for everything that you do. You really are, you're instrumental in envisioning this conference, as well as envisioning all the support and care and advocacy across the entire country and internationally. I think I cannot emphasize how important it is to have organizations like Jesse's Journey in the care for patients, or that help support the care for patients with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I'm very excited about this whole weekend, and I'm looking forward to learn as well as share some of the information that I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. McAdam. Appreciate that and appreciate your kind words. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. James Dowling. I think James is with us, senior scientist and clinician in the Division of Neurology, Genetics, and Genome Biology program at the Hospital for Sick Children, along with the departments of Pediatrics and Molecular Genetics at the University of Toronto. Dr. Dowling? We may not have.
I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Hello, Jim. Thanks for joining us. You just got introduced.
Yes, I was in a weird presentation mode or something.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep things brief. My name is Jim Dowling, and I'm a pediatric neurologist, clinician scientist at SickKids, and part of the neuromuscular team here. We are incredibly honored and proud to be one of the co-sponsors for this weekend's event. We recognize the critical importance of the partnership between caregivers and families and care providers in terms of Duchenne care, and that we're all learning and moving together with the goal of a future, as Rick mentioned, where we have therapies and treatments and care that enable the term Duchenne to no longer be applicable for children and adults with DMD mutations. I just want to especially thank Rick and Nicola, who are really tireless in the energy they put forward on behalf of the entire DMD community, really. And it's a great honor to get to work with them. And also, I saw some mention in the chat about loving Laura McAdam. I want to echo that as well, and the partnership between SickKids and Holland Bloorview as a way of really hoping to provide the most optimal care that we can. We greatly appreciate all the work that Laura and her team do at Holland Bloorview. And with that, I will say I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to interacting with everyone further throughout the whole time.
Yes, thanks, Dr. Dowling. And Dr. Dowling will kick off things tomorrow morning at 11 for us as well. And I'd also like to extend a thank you and introduction to Dr. Hernan Gonorazky, the pediatric neurologist at SickKids Hospital. Hernan, are you with us this evening?
Yep, I'm here, Rick.
Great, thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much for the invitation. As Rick mentioned, I work at SickKids. I'm part of the team with Jim, and of course, we partner with Laura with a lot of our patients. I want to echo basically what it has been said before, that I truly appreciate all the effort that Jesse's journey has been putting on this, but also to all the families. Although the agenda is super interesting, and I'm pretty sure you're going to learn a lot, I'm most expecting to hear from all the attendees and all the families, to hear what you guys have to say, because we actually learn so much from you, and all the input that they have improves all our care that we actually can provide. So again, thank you, and I hope you will have a great weekend.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate the partnership with both Holland Bloorview and SickKids Hospital and all the work that you've done for us. Our Defeat Duchenne Family Forums would just simply not be possible without the generous support of our partners. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, PTC Therapeutics, our gold sponsors, PepGen, Edgewise Therapeutics, Regenex Bio, and Pfizer, our silver sponsors, Atel Pharmaco, Astellas Gene Therapy, Fibrogen, Moore Investment Management, and Satellos Bioscience, and our bronze sponsors, Solid Biosciences, Sarepta Therapeutics, Roche, and the Jack and Barbara Hay Foundation. We encourage you to get to know our sponsors by viewing their sponsor profile on Whova. You'll find resources and videos there, not to mention a few of our sponsors will be live on the weekend during the research and drug development sessions on Saturday and on Sunday that I know you won't want to miss. Well, we are very proud to have a patient advocacy group like ourselves associated with PTC Therapeutics. PTC has been a tremendous partner for us. And I would now like to turn things over to Melissa Russ, the patient engagement liaison, to say a few words of welcome.
Thank you so much, Rick. And thank you, Jesse's Journey, and all the families joining tonight. I'm going to share my screen. My name is Melissa Russ, and I'm part of the patient engagement team based in Plymouth, Michigan. I am excited to spend the evening with you and share a little bit more about PTC tonight. PTC was established in 1998 and is based in South Plainfield, New Jersey. Our founder, Stu Peltz, remains the current CEO. We are actively engaged in discovery, development, and commercialization for genetic disorders, oncology, and gene therapy. We have multiple therapies in our pipeline that target diseases from Duchenne to mitochondrial epilepsy. Our commitment to Duchenne expands over 20 years, from the discovery of Translarna to the acquisition of Emflaza. Our goal is to shorten the diagnostic odyssey by bringing more awareness to genetic testing, increase disease state awareness, and improve the standard of care. And then I'd like to talk about 5 different programs that PTC has to offer. First one is Duchenne and You. It's a non-branded resource for families, which includes educational videos. Our second program is our siblings program, which is a first-in-kind program for siblings of Duchenne clinical trials. Our third program is our Strive Award. This is an annual grant to support patient advocacy groups worldwide. Our fourth program is the Peer Navigator program. This is a program where we have individuals that are considering using corticoid steroids. We pair them up with families that have been on corticoid steroids. And PTC Cares is our in-house support for families. And here's the snapshot of the neurology team. We're comprised of rare disease patients, nurses, public health educators. Myself, I am a rare disease patient. I am living with hereditary emphysema. And one thing I love about this slide, it shows really that you're not alone in your care for your child. It's really about having a larger team behind you. And we're a part of that, including patient advocacy to help you with those resources. And one of my favorite slides, this really captures the essence of PTC. PTC is about celebrating moments such as spending time with your loved ones. That's what we consider a success. If you have any questions, you can reach me at mruss@ptcbio.com. I'll be back tomorrow with my colleague, Rachel, and on Sunday as well. We were going to be exploring a gaming session through Mission Duchenne. So hope to see you then. And thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Melissa, very much. And thanks for being such a great partner to Jesse's journey. We thought it would be helpful tonight to start the weekend with a broad overview of all transitional points in Duchenne care. And so no one better than Dr. McAdam to join us. And I'm now happy to turn things over to you.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Excellent. So I am going to try and keep this very brief. And the main reason is I'm very excited about the next thing that's coming on the agenda. And throughout this weekend, we are going to be talking about many different transitional topics for individuals that have Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy. So what we're going to start off with is just a really simple definition. So what is transition? So transition is a change from one state to another state. And this is something that we all do on a regular basis. So throughout childhood and early adulthood, we all face a series of significant changes. And when I'm looking at success for transition, it's really determined by both the process and the outcome. Now, I do want to acknowledge that there are many different types of transitions out there. So they're the predictable transitions. So those are all of the things that we just expect to happen throughout life. But then there's also all of these unanticipated transitions. And I think many people that are on right now have experienced those unanticipated transitions. And that's your diagnosis of Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy. And when we're looking at these different types of transitions, we also have to pause and take a moment to think about all of these different emotional transitions and emotional journeys that everybody is experiencing, both with the predictable and the unanticipated transitions. And it's really important to know that these are very personal, and everybody goes through emotional transitions at different times throughout the journey. And so when we're thinking about all of these transitions, we always have to layer on top of that the emotional transition that's occurring simultaneously. So I've grouped transitions into a couple of different categories, and throughout the weekend, we're going to be talking about many of these, and we have multiple people coming in to discuss this. So the first transition is really the transition into the healthcare system. And so when we're thinking about that, it starts with the diagnosis. And when you have diagnosis, it is such a complex time because you're being introduced to many medical and rehabilitation teams, so many transitions within that. You have all of this knowledge, so the transition of building this broad knowledge base of something that you've never heard of before or likely haven't heard of before. And layered upon that, we are talking about genetics, genes, the cause of this, and clinical trials, and the importance of knowing about genes. So throughout some of the sessions tomorrow, we will be exploring that, and we have a genetic counselor that'll be walking us through some of those, walking us through the genetics. And then once you feel like you might have some knowledge of the landscape you're dealing with, there's the next big transition, which is transitioning to the adult healthcare system. And so I just want to ground it all on making sure that we're paying attention to personal and family wellness with all of these transitions. The next big category of transitions is education. And so when we're looking at Sunday, we have a lot, or no, we don't have a lot. We have several sessions looking at all of the different educational transitions we have. So transitioning into elementary school with a new diagnosis, navigating the transition to high school, then post-secondary education, or if you're choosing not to go into post-secondary education, there's so many other transitions that are happening simultaneously. You may be volunteering, going into employment opportunities, or different community programs. And once again, we have that emotional piece that we have to make sure that we're addressing and acknowledging is happening at the same time. Now this, I'm going to say, is probably the biggest area. So transitions with respect to daily life and independence. And so it starts really small, and when we consider a seed that grows into a big tree, it's really about these hanging out with friends, building all of those social skills and friendships that are so important and lay the foundation for those next transitions. It includes participating in different recreation programs and activities, and balancing that with conserving energy. We also, our therapists are going to be talking about energy conservation and how to manage that so that you have enough energy to do the things that are important to you in your day-to-day life. Throughout this whole journey, people are developing their own personal interests. And as you're getting a little bit older, depending on where you live, you may have access to public transit. And how do you use that and do that in an independent manner as you're getting older? And then you're taking control of your personal finances and relationships. And some individuals are looking at transitions into living independently. So really there are many transitions in pediatrics as well as young adulthood, and it can feel very overwhelming at times. But I think what's really important is to take a step back and recognize that you have a team. And so you've met a few of the team members from SickKids as well as from Holland, Bloorview. And so when we're thinking about it, yes, at the center, the most important person is the individual with Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy. And then surrounding on the outside of them, they have their family, their caregivers, and then each of those individuals have friends, which is helping build out the team. Then you have school teams, medical and rehab teams. You have the parent and peer support groups. You have organizations such as Jesse's Journey, as well as you have your own little communities where you're living. And so although when we think of transitions, it can easily get very overwhelming, it's important to remember you're not isolated, you're not alone. You have a team that will help work with you through these different transitions. Now, this is my last slide before we get on to the more exciting presentations. And so I just really, when you're thinking about transition success, I want you to reflect on what you need to be successful in your transitions. And so this is a really personal journey, and the journey needs to be tailored to what works best for you and your family. And so in general, people who have a better transition experience, it's because they've had an opportunity to be prepared, and they know what is about to change, and they know what they need to do, and they have the support with the planning and the transition. And all of this starts with a conversation so that your teams of all the people that are surrounding you can help point you in the right direction, because there are many supports out there to help with the journey. But it's really about knowing who to ask or what questions to ask. And I'm hoping that throughout this weekend, we'll help guide you in some of these different areas so that you know who to ask or how to start that journey of transition. So that is it for me, and I'm very excited about the next part.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this part too, Dr. McAdam, and thank you so much. It will be an informative weekend, so please have a good look at the agenda and pick out the sessions you want to join us for. We hope we can make as many as possible. As we mentioned before, this weekend's not only a time to learn, but it's also a time to connect and to meet new people and new families and share your story and listen to the experience of others navigating life with Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy. I've had the honor of getting to know a little bit these three families through our hospital partners, and I'm inspired very, very much by their adventurous spirit, determination, and hope, and the directions that their lives have taken already. We can learn a lot from them. And tonight, I'd like to start by introducing the Wadiwala family, Ibrahim and Sumaya. Could you join us, please? And we'll have a little conversation and a couple of short videos as well in a minute.
Hello.
And hi, welcome. And I did want to see if Ibrahim could tell us a little bit about himself. Could you let us know maybe how old you are, what grade you're in? And I would also appreciate it, Ibrahim, if you would tell us, I know you mentioned in our earlier conversations that you have Duchenne, and you had some interesting things to say about that and your thoughts and how you're feeling about things. So would you just introduce yourself to everybody, you know, your age and your school, and a little bit about your attitude to Duchenne.
Hi guys, my name is Ibrahim and I am 9 years old. I am in grade 4. I have DMD, but it does not define me. There are some things that I cannot do, but there are so many things that bring me happiness. Every day is a new challenge, but also an opportunity. I have a lot of hobbies, including playing games, cooking food with my mom, going on nature walks, and so much more.
And you do. And also, you are a bit of a video star. We're going to find out a little more about that. And I'm going to show a little bit of video, and then Ibrahim is going to speak to it. So just so you folks know, Ibrahim has his own YouTube channel. He is 9. Did he mention that? And of course, he has created, I don't know how many videos, I've lost track, but he has a walk video he wants to show you too. So Michelle, if you could fire up the YouTube and the walk video, that'd be great.
I want to. Oh, the walk for Andy?
Yeah, just open.
Hi guys, today I'm going on a walk. So, let's get going up, down. So here we go. 10, 9,
Slow down.
Don't touch.
Whoa, you made it. Okay, hold the railing.
All right.
Your mom needs a little help getting up the stairs. You good? Oops.
Let me go.
Okay.
Let me go.
Yeah. Careful. Bye. Woo.
Wait a second. Wait.
Bye.
Bye.
No shortage of determination there, that's for sure. Great job. Great job. Now, you also have a YouTube channel. Here we go.
Wait. Not sure.
What do you mean? Say?
Yeah. You're talking about your channel, right?
I have a channel called the I Body Wellness, which I started 3 years ago, probably 4 now, in like a few days. I have since collected 81 subscribers, and that may not sound like a lot, but considering what a single subscriber means to me, it's a big milestone for me. Because it took 2 years half of the life of my channel to get only 10 subscribers. The next week I got 20, and then next month I got 30, and so on and so on. I also have a total of 16,000 views, and my goal is to get 25,000 views and 100 subscribers. So help me out here and subscribe, please.
Yes, yes, I think that's right. Anybody interested in finding out more, you can get in touch with Ibrahim or Sabaya and find out how you can participate and how he got so interested and so good at videos and all the activities that he's been engaged in. I want to thank you both very, very much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. And we wish you the very, very best. And other families throughout the weekend, if you want to exchange on the Whova platform, get in touch with the family and find out more. Please sign up to the YouTube channel. And, Ibrahim will be watching those numbers grow every day. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to the Colico family. And I would ask them to come on screen if they can. We have the Colico family here. Teresa, hi, how are you? Teresa, maybe I'll let you introduce the gang behind you. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their dad, Jamie.
Hi. And the boys, we have, could maybe raise your hand. We have Judd and Jess. There you are. Welcome, boys, very, very much. I want to talk to both you guys about a couple of things. We've got a few questions. We're going to look at your artwork in a little bit, because what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, are two terrific artists. They are both done some terrific work that we're going to share with you a little later this evening. But I wanted to ask both you boys about some transitional things. Both of you have gone through high school and are in high school and or just completing school. So I wanted to find out more. Judd is finished high school, I know, and Jess is in high school. I wanted to know about getting into high school and the transition you made from elementary school to high school. Can you guys tell us what that was like? Was it a difficult thing? Was it relatively easy? What did you do to get from elementary school to high school?
Well, for me, it was a very interesting transition, because there was a lot of things that I had to do before going into high school, like setting up my courses and basically meeting up with the principal so they can set up my accommodations, like washroom and any educational assistance I need.
Yep, there's a lot to it,
Yeah. And then when I went to high school, it was pretty fun for the first week, and I really enjoyed my time at high school. However, I didn't have any EAs while I was in high school. I was always by myself. The only help I got was really just in the washroom.
We're going to talk more about that over the course of the weekend too. The transition into elementary school for starters, and then into high school, and all the things that you need to be looking for, and some organizations and some individuals who can help. So that's very, very valuable information, Jess. I appreciate that.
I'm Judd.
Judd,
Oh,
yeah, Judd. Yeah.
Judd.
Now we've got, is it Judd going into looking for employment now? You've graduated from high school,
Yeah.
and now you are at the point where you're looking for a job. And we had an interesting conversation the other day about what's involved in that, and the organization that is actually through Holland Bloorview that you're working with. I wondered if tonight you wouldn't mind telling us a little more about that and how this organization is helping you with your job search, the kinds of resources they're providing for you. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, well, the program I'm in is called Employment Action Coaching. And what they do there is they help you with resume writing, interview skills, and basically just trying to help you navigate through
Good.
the world of job searching. And also they're going to help us eventually with the hidden job market. And basically what that is just like hidden jobs that you can find in and around the internet and stuff like that.
Very good. And you hope to find something that's related to what you're interested in, your work, your artwork, right?
Yeah, I'm
Or
interested
some
in
gaming?
art,
Yeah.
video games, action figures, superheroes. Yeah, I also what are you doing? I also post some of my gaming videos on YouTube as well, so that's pretty
Oh,
nice.
great. Great. Tell us about your channel too.
Yeah, sure. Like all I post on there is just, gameplay videos and stuff. I have a lot of Spider-Man videos there because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero.
Good. Great. Jess, I wanted to ask you, how did you become so interested in art and drawing? And let's look at some of your work too, because I think what you've done is terrific. And I just was curious how you got interested in art, and are you getting lots of support through the school, or how are you learning to become such a great artist?
Well, basically, I got into art because of my brother.
Did you? Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I saw him just draw stuff.
Yeah.
And mainly because on the TV, my brother would watch like a lot of superhero shows.
Yeah.
So I would want to copy it, I guess. Because like I got good at it by just tracing stuff, basically. Like I didn't do it like off my mind. I just started tracing it and then I started copying it like from my eyes, and then I just got used to it and just started drawing it. And in
Good.
school, yeah, a lot of the teachers support me. Like they're actually nice, and my classmates as well. Sometimes they overflow me with compliments.
Do
but-
they really? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Soak it up.
Yeah, but
That's great.
in high school they do give you a lot of supplies and
Good.
stuff you need, and they teach you different styles of art, like whatever art you want to do.
So if there's other boys and families out there tonight that have an interest in this, through their high school, they're probably going to be able to find a program in art that they're interested in. Do you do any get any help outside the school with art?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay.
Mostly, most of the time, like if you can see in the middle photo,
Yeah.
it's like a custom action figure I made.
Yeah. And that's, you talk about art, and I'm not sure they think about this, but this is from a mold. Can you tell us a little bit about this type of artwork that you're doing?
So basically what I do is just I draw it, like I use my drawing abilities on my phone and like basically get whatever figure I can find that fits the idea in my head. And basically I just draw what ideas I'm gonna put, and then I have like this putty that can like turn hard in like 4 hours. So I just sculpt it and use my art tools sometimes.
Very
And
good.
basically that just happens. Before I made customs because half the time you couldn't find the action figure in the store, or the action figure just didn't exist. So
Yeah. The work is great. Both you guys are very artistic, and you know, as I say, that tonight online here, there may be other families, other boys who are interested in finding out more. Are you okay if they get in touch with you too? Again, you guys can use the Hoover platform and to get in touch with other families. And remember, after just a few minutes, we're going to break into 3 different groups. Everybody, just so you know, there will be mix and mingles for different groups. So we have siblings and we have a variety of other areas that you can go into and get to know one another a little better and find out more. And with all the action figures and gaming, I think you're going to find what Melissa talked about, this Mission Duchenne game that's going to be featured at 4 o'clock on our time, both Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you guys join that too. I think that that'd be a great opportunity. But I want to thank you and your family for joining us tonight and being part of the forum. We really appreciate it. You've added a lot to our evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
Great. And our next family, I'm delighted to introduce you to is the Mino family. And this family, can we see you, and then we'll find out who everybody is, and then we're going to look at a great video they've put together for you. We've got Brian and Laura and Christopher, and I'm not sure if we have Emily on the line or not.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, great, and welcome. You know, you're going to in the video deal with lots of transitions. You guys, you know, you've already faced a lot. I know, Brian, you were saying, you know, in the early days, we'll see in the video, you know, there was a physical move, a long move for you guys. There were some things that you did that I think are great tips for other families to help get them into the community and engaged in the neighborhood. And we'll want to talk more about those after. But can you just introduce everybody, and then we'll run the video and we'll just have a quick chat afterwards.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Brian. I got my wife Laura. She's here. Christopher, who is in grade 12. He's 17 years old, and we have Emily in grade 9 at the same school as well. So that's our family.
Great to meet you all. And now let's find out more about the Mino family.
Good evening, all. I'd like to introduce you to the Mino family and our transition into our lives dealing with muscular dystrophy.
Hi, my name is Christopher Mino. In 2008, when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I am now 17 years old, still walking, and currently a grade 12 student at St. Francis High School. Next year, I plan on attending college or university, taking computer sciences.
Our story begins in 2004 when we were lucky enough to give birth to a beautiful baby boy, Christopher. The first few years of Christopher's life were spent like every other family, playing in the park, watching parades, and enjoying life with our little boy. In 2007, our dreams really did come true by completing our $1 million family with the addition of a beautiful daughter, Emily. Our lives were quickly turned upside down when in 2008, we discovered that Christopher was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Knowing that we had to be closer to our doctors in Toronto, we decided to move our family from our home in Kapuskasing down to St. Catharines, Ontario. This transition certainly was a big one for Christopher as he began grade 1 in a new school. To become more familiar with his classmates, we decided to throw a Halloween party shortly after moving to St. Catharines. In the years that have followed, Christopher has remained friends with many of those children that he met in grade 1. While his physical limitations may have separated himself from his classmates, his friends have never treated him differently, always knowing him as Christopher all throughout these years.
My advice for people with muscular dystrophy is not to shy away from the disease. It's important to be out with friends and to be yourself. My friends have never treated me differently, and I am grateful for such awesome support from them and my school. I also find participating in the walk very helpful to raise awareness of muscular dystrophy. Hiding from the disease or not talking about it will not make it go away.
Always an advocate for muscular dystrophy, Christopher remains positive with a smile eternally on his face. One of the most important decisions we made in transitioning into this new lifestyle was joining the Walk for Muscular Dystrophy. Throughout the years, we have participated in many walks and have met many people, including politicians, firemen, other families diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and even local mascots. We've also been very lucky at the walks, as Christopher's friends and schoolmates have always made time to join him in the walk. Other ways that we've raised awareness for muscular dystrophy is by having bake sales at local organizations, where Christopher's smile sure brightens up the day.
Throughout the last 13 years, Christopher has been able to stay active. Some of the activities he has enjoyed are taekwondo, swimming, and playing the drums. This past summer, Christopher started his first part-time job at an indoor mini-putt course. Since being diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, Christopher takes deflazacort tablets and vitamin D drops daily. During the first few years, he was also taking Tums for extra calcium. However, this was no longer required, as Christopher was getting enough calcium from his daily milk intake. Chris also wears AFOs at night to maintain his range of motion, and just recently he got his power chair to help him with long distances, especially for next year when he will be attending post-secondary school. As for his diet, we have found the trick is everything in moderation and lower fat options whenever possible. Chris pays attention to his weight, and by watching what he eats most of the time, he can indulge a little on special occasions or when out with friends.
My final piece of advice is to embrace who you are, listen to your doctors, don't be afraid to ask for help, and always be willing to meet new people or to volunteer when needed. We would like to thank Dr. McAdam and Rick Moss for asking us to be part of the Defeat Duchenne Family Forum. We are so happy to have the opportunity to share our story. Wishing you all a pleasant evening and enjoy the forum.
Thank you all very much. And what a great job on that video. That is jam-packed with helpful information. I just wanted to touch on a couple things in conversation with you, if I could. You know, you guys have made some big transitions. That move is not a small move. Kapuskasing to St. Catharines, my gosh. You know, Brian and Laura, that had to be a big decision. I know the kids were very little at that point, but you know, can you tell us a little more about that, how that came about?
Well, I think just over the years, we were going back and forth to Toronto a couple of times in the early diagnosis. Obviously, going back, it's about a 10-hour drive, and during the winter it wasn't great, so we knew we had to be closer to Dr. McAdam and Holland Bloorview as well. So we just kind of looked for the right opportunity in the right place, and yeah, we found it. So we took our time choosing the right city that works for us as well.
Very good.
We went to school in St. Catharines, at both of us at Brock as well, so it made an easy decision for us.
Because, you know, we've got families from across the country, and you know, they're going to have to make similar decisions. I think that, you know, if you're willing, again, on the Whova platform and in chat and so on and so forth, to share your story, there may be some more questions. And even, you know, just before we move into the mix and mingle sessions, if families have questions, I appreciate you know, and getting involved in that. I know too, what's been so important, our friends, and Christopher, do you want to just say a few words about your friends and what they mean to you?
Well, basically, I've had the same group of friends since I moved here, basically, and they've always supported me through everything I've done. And yeah, like I said in the video, they don't treat me differently. They treat me as part of the gang.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's so important, isn't it? And Emily, as a sibling, what's it like living with this guy? How have you found things?
It's very fun and enjoyable.
Really? You're not just saying that because people are watching you. That's great to see that. Emily, I want to remind you, one of the mix and mingle sessions is for siblings after 8 o'clock. So if you want to jump on that one, we'd love to have you there and hear more about the relationship. That'd be terrific. I want to thank you both very much, Laura and Brian, and thank you, Christopher and Emily, for being part of tonight. That was a terrific video. We've already had some questions about it. That can it be shared? Are you guys okay with us sharing that with other families? Thank you so much. We appreciate that very, very much. I guess now really what I'd like to do is just thank all of you for joining us. It's been just a great 20 minutes or 25 minutes or so meeting and getting to know a little bit more about these three very special families. We're so grateful you participated with us this weekend. As I touched on earlier, we do have three sort of fun icebreaker sessions, one for parents and caregivers, one for teens and adults living with Duchenne and Becker, and one for siblings, as I mentioned. So take a few minutes and grab your favorite beverage, maybe some snacks, and turn on your camera and get to know each other in those mix and mingles. If you're having any difficulties with HUVA throughout the weekend, please contact our coordinator and administration of donor relations, Kate Miller, at kate.miller@jessiesjourney.com. A couple of other reminders. We don't want you to forget, we've got to turn our clocks back 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning officially. That's something we'll be reminding you about throughout the weekend. We do go through a time change because we are dealing with, as I say, people across the country and some of our guests from the United States as well, where the turning back of the clock is almost universal for them, but not everybody. I also want to just wrap up by saying it's only through the advancement of research that the thousands of children who face Duchenne can have hope of a long life and be inspired to live their lives to the fullest today. We hope you'll get involved, whether it's helping to raise funds through your local community, sharing your story to raise awareness, becoming an advocacy ambassador, volunteering, or simply joining the conversation on social media. We wish you a wonderful rest of the evening, and we will see you tomorrow.